Speaker, contrary to what the Minister of Health is saying, the federal government's insistence on the absolute necessity of vaccine mandates is not founded in science. Some Canadians choose to remain unvaccinated and always will. That's simply a fact. It was not an easy choice for them, but because of real anxiety about COVID vaccines, they have sacrificed their jobs and their ability to travel to see loved ones. Our Prime Minister shamefully labeled these Canadians as racist and misogynist, and he refused to apologize or even show a hint of decency and dignity. And that has been noticed all around the world. Regardless of how the Prime Minister feels about someone's personal choices, it's time to accept them. It's time to treat people with the dignity and respect. The provinces are following the science, the mandates are lifting, and we are all learning to live with COVID. On behalf of my constituents in Lambton Kent, Middlesex, and all Canadians, I call upon the government to have compassion and immediately drop these punitive mandates.
Hear, hear.
Honourable Member for Ottawa Centre.
Thank you, Speaker. Canadians across the country are helping Ukrainians in crisis. Our community in Ottawa is no different. Recently, I visited the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Ukrainian Orthodox Cathedral in Ottawa, where I saw dozens of volunteers collecting and sorting donations for the people of Ukraine. The energy was palpable. In the weeks since the illegal Russian aggression, the Ukrainian Canadian Congress's Ottawa branch have been organizing around the clock, collecting donations consisting of clothes, hygiene products, medical supplies, and supplies for shelter. In Ottawa, Speaker, over 300 volunteers helped to collect and sort a total of 85,000 pounds of donations, which were shipped to Poland and then to a Meast warehouse in Lviv in western Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, I want to say a massive thank you to the organizers of this effort, Olenka Bastian, Vanessa Rushitnik, and the entire planning committee. While the impacts of this completely unjustifiable invasion have been global, so too our response to it. The people of Ottawa will continue to support Ukraine and the Ukrainian Canadian community. Thank you.
Oral questions, questions orables.
The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, the Health Minister apologized in this House after being bombarded by questions from the official opposition on when the federal vaccine mandates will be lifted. And I appreciate the Minister's gesture, Madam Speaker, but he did not answer any of our questions about when these health mandates will be lifted. And to quote the Minister, the member has the right to have access to all the information if he wants to continue to play a solid role as an MP. And I want to do that, Madam Speaker. I'll take him at his word. Will he table today for all members of this House the scientific studies and opinions which recommend that the NDP Liberal government continue to impose a vaccine mandate? The Honourable Minister of Health. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And once again, I'll say what I said yesterday. I have a great deal of respect for the work of my colleague, and I respect his personality as well. He does great work, not only within his Conservative caucus, and here in the House of Commons, and I'll always be there to help him do his work. And as I said, if he would like to have more information, more studies, he can, and with his critic, contact us, and we will continue to provide that information. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. Well, Madam Speaker, I was hoping he would table the documents here in this House so that all members could have access to the same information at the same time, and particularly to the scientific studies which have shown that this government had a recommendation to impose a vaccine mandate. But this week, Canadians learned that there's a new NDP Liberal government. There's an agreement that was signed behind closed doors. We have a few details that have been made public, but both government parties refused to make the full deal public, Madam Speaker. The Natural Resource Minister yesterday promised to increase our exports of oil to Europe by 300,000 barrels. Can the NDP Liberal government say that if it recognizes now, today, that Canada has an important role to play as a country that produces oil? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. The situation in Ukraine highlights the importance of energy security for our allies in Europe and around the world. Our country does not have to worry in terms of its energy security, while Europe has to face this geopolitical challenge with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We're looking at all necessary measures to continue to make sure that there is energy supply that is safe in Canada and around the world. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-l'Érable. Well, I'm happy to hear that the NDP side of this NDP Liberal government approves of that, Madam Speaker. Let's stick with natural resources. Canada has been and remains a major player in agriculture around the world. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is making waves in international markets. Prices are going up. There's a fertilizer shortage and prices are outrageous. Canadian farmers can help families around the world if the federal government supports them by eliminating barriers to production and to export. Will this NDP Liberal government finally show some leadership and offer